Okay, and we are back for part 8, continuing right now, with just one quick note, because here on the pause screen, Captain Solano is enraged that Jara told Captain Riker that the shield algorithms for the entire Starfleet fleet has been stolen by the Takan, and wish she had respected his desire to keep that information under wraps. I said at the beginning that I was going to follow this person's orders right up until the point that they were not tenable, like there were better options, and yeah, 100%. This is not a person who is well. I said that very briefly in the previous part. The doctor, like, if the doctor is not aware of the specifics that he tried to prevent Starfleet from learning, that their defenses are currently completely useless against a hostile alien force, she needs to know about that, and Solano needs to be... They need to start thinking about removing him from command, because this is not rational thinking.
Four warp cores? That's interesting.
Redundancy. If one goes down in battle, we can still operate.
Makes this more difficult, though.
This ship can maintain warp with half the cores offline. We'll need to disable 3 of them.
Well, where are the engine schematics? Power flow routing charts.
We're soldiers, not engineers. I thought you would know what to do.
You're in good hands. We can do this.
I trust that you can.
You at least know where we should start?
This way.
What are we dealing with?
Radiation-resistant casing protecting the warp core's matter-antimatter reaction chamber. 1 of 4 warp cores powering the Zeldi. Thermal output indicates each core alone could not sustain minimal warp, but harmonic infusion of at least 2 cores would produce an exponential increase in power. Hold on. The thermostatic sensor relays temperature signals to automated coolant valve controls.
Cores are running really hot. Makes sense, since they've been producing at max output since we left Hotari space.
No ship can run for very long like that. Not before a catastrophic failure hits.
It's right on the edge. We just need to figure out a way to give it a push.
I bet that console down there could tell us a few things.
I just want to keep my eye out for anything else that we can investigate, but... Oh, like... Well, that's the go down. Anybody want to chat at all? No? All business? Okay.
Whatever we do, we need to make sure the Takan can't undo it.
So we need a way to permanently disable the reactors that won't destroy the ship and kill us all in the process.
You thinking what I'm thinking?
Warp core ejection. So the question is, how do we make it happen? The reactor coolant system is operating at emergency containment levels.
It's just barely keeping the temperature in check.
Maybe we can use that. If it gets this high, their system considers a reactor breach imminent. Like we saw on the bridge, all 4 warp cores are operating at full capacity. The safety protocols don't look much different from the Resolute. Breach protection. Reduce output, command override. Cease matter-antimatter flow, command override. Emergency warp core ejection. Computer control.
Even command functions can't override one of the most crucial safety measures.
So the protocol's still active. That's good. Looks like if sensors show a core is about to rupture, the computer will eject it automatically rather than risk a breach.
So we need to increase the warp core's temperatures.
If we destroy the coolant regulators, there won't be anything to keep these reactors from going over.
And it will trigger the ejection. Let's peel these suckers open. I'll take that one.
And I'll take the one next to it.
The second you two start dumping cores, the Takan will know we're here.
We'll be vulnerable. Stuck in one place while you work.
Start thinking about an escape plan. I have a feeling we're gonna need one.
We'll barricade the door. Work quickly.
Okay, I just want to point out that the warp core ejection feature is one of those things that, like, doesn't work very well in the universe of Star Trek. We're putting a lot of...
We might not have our tools, but our phasers can do this in a pinch.
We're putting a lot... Hold on. We're putting a lot of faith into the idea that shooting our phasers into a warp core will allow the ejection system that works 15% of the time to successfully eject it before our phaser fire idea blows up in our face.
We better get this right. If we foul it up and this whole thing goes boom... We don't know how much damage that Cartabula will do.
Listen, the best way to make sure something goes wrong is to stress. Keep your mind on the job. We'll be okay.
Yeah, we will. It's not a Starfleet warp core, but the coolant regulator has to be in here somewhere.
If I've never pointed this out, there's like a reverse magnetism here thing that's happening.
There you are. Time to heat things up.
Warning. Warning. Warp core output at critical level. Ejecting core.
Okay, now they're definitely gonna know we're down here.
Warp core output at critical level. Ejecting core.
Just one more to go.
They're here!
They're cutting through the door. We don't have much time.
Okay, same as before. We just gotta...
Oh, crud. Okay. I'm trying to see whoever is attacking, like, the dudes. Okay. I just want to share the fact that when there's a bar that fills up that says that they're going to be shooting the Illidians to death, and also there's a bar saying, oh, there's incoming fire, it's tough to know that I guess I should just keep my head down and let more Illidians die, even though, like, there's 25 bars across the top of the screen, and they massacred all of them. So I'm going to press A to retry regular.
Okay, same as before. We just gotta...
I'm just gonna... Yeah. They still got her. Okay, it seems to respect, like, just multi-tapping the phaser fire button instead of just holding it.
Hey! Would you mind not shooting at the matter-antimatter reactor?
I'll cover you.
What? No!
Get the warp core done, or we're all dead.
Yeah, she says no because she knows how bad Carter is with the phaser part of it. Okay. So I tried to get up. So I got the worst of both worlds there, where I got both damage myself and also Carter damage. Injured. I'm trying!
Now!
Warp core output at critical level. Ejecting core. Warp drive disengaged.
You did it.
You got another way out of here?
I think so. Itasca, can you climb?
I'll see you on the parade grounds of Surella, my friend. You want me? I'm right here. Not you too.
Calm yourself, child. It will all be better soon. Wake up, Manko Umet. Return to us. Rejoin the flame.
To reclaim what was lost.
Watch this.
I do. I want to remember every moment when I make them pay. But this isn't the end. I will avenge Itasca. Swear to me, you will join me in this.
How about we try to save her?
That's a dream.
We have a mission. We have to stay on track because this is bigger than all of us.
They defile my poor Itasca with every moment they take breath in her body. I will not let that stand.
There's so much I want to ask you.
There's so little I can tell you. I'm a portal, not a scientist, but I'll certainly do my best. I can only assume this is one of your older starships. One would think, given the importance of your mission, they might send a ship of a more recent vintage. But, apparently not.
The Resolute is primarily a research vessel, if that's what you mean. Not a warship.
Although she has been known to hold her own in a fight.
Against what?
Something wrong?
Not at all. The galaxy has grown more diverse since the days of the Tekon Empire.
Because you conquered everyone who didn't look like you.
To the contrary. Most lesser civilizations willingly join the Empire to enjoy the benefits of an advanced way of life. But that expansion came with its own set of problems, so I admire your ability to diversify without creating conflict. That was always our challenge, and perhaps, ultimately, our downfall.
The Federation prides itself on its inclusiveness. I'd say it's one of our greatest strengths.
As the Vulcans say, infinite diversity in infinite combinations.
Interesting. I'd be curious to meet one of these Vulcans. If this is the best you have, then so be it. To locate this scion, Galvan, I'll need full access to your ship's systems.
Full access?
Huh. You must be out of your mind.
No, I'm right here, completely in my mind. Given this is merely a research ship, I won't be able to find him without it. Perhaps I should have made that clear up front. I'll need to make certain modifications.
I can't promise anything, but let me see what I can do.
Just know, without it, I won't be able to help you.
This isn't gonna fly.
I'll see you on the bridge. Captain Solano, I'd like to introduce you to Portal 6-3, Guardian of the Tekon Empire.
Pleasure to meet you, Captain.
Likewise. I can't say I've ever met a portal before. There is no modern equivalent. Not within the Federation, at least.
We are incredibly lucky that Portal has agreed to join us.
Your first officer makes a very persuasive argument.
So I've noticed. You spent 600,000 years at your post. That certainly takes an uncommon level of dedication.
We all have our duty.
Of course. But I'm curious. You were stationed there in preparation for what, exactly?
Any and all threats to the Empire.
An empire that no longer exists. Which suggests you weren't very successful.
You said you needed my help. I didn't come here to be insulted. Perhaps that was a mistake. I'd be happy to return to Delphi Ardu at any time.
Y or A? I don't know.
And we do need your help. Absolutely. And we are grateful that you decided to come.
And your captain has an odd way of expressing his gratitude.
I'm merely curious where your allegiances might lie. And
Clearly it's with the Takan.
Yes, Captain. You have found me out and exposed my true loyalties. To the Takan, not to the Scions of the Flame, who do nothing more than tarnish us in name and reputation and don't deserve to be called Takan. That's why I'm here. And if you'd be so kind as to give me access to your ship's systems, we can get on with it. And you can stop wasting my time.
Access to our systems? That's completely out of the question. Tell me that's not what you promised. We're vulnerable enough as it is. And now we're supposed to give him access to everything?
Captain, I know it's a risk. But right now it's our best shot at finding Galvin and that ship.
Now I understand your reluctance. I never imagined offering to help would be met with such ignorance. Bordering on incompetence.
If you're not enjoying your visit to our ship, we'd be more than happy to let you wither away back on your pathetic little rock.
Captain?
You clearly do not appreciate the magnitude of the threat the Scions pose. So myopic is your focus on your own ego. I will not be leaving until they have been found.
Commander Rydek, a word.
And to think, I waited 600,000 years for this.
You realize that's supposed to be in an incredibly difficult position. I was against seeking him out from the start, but now, to give him access to our systems? It's insane. And you somehow expect me to believe his allegiance is with us? You heard what he said in there. There's no way we can trust him.
It's entirely possible. We don't really know where his loyalties lie. Which is why we should proceed with caution. Keep a close eye on his every move.
We can't afford to get this wrong.
We sought him out for a reason. To help him find our missing crew, Galvin, and those Elydian ships. This is the plan we agreed to with Ambassador Spock.
Which I never liked. But here we are. You know what this mission means to us. Not just for the Federation, but for me personally. I can't afford another screw-up. Losing the shield algorithms was bad enough. This could be the end of my career.
I'm sorry, Captain. You know I support you, but millions of lives and the future of the Federation are at stake here. Both of which are more important right now than your career.
It's not just mine. It's both of ours.
Then so be it.
I'm going to trust your instincts on this one. I just hope you're right. For both of our sakes. Let me know if you find anything.
We're good. You may begin.
I will, of course, have to make a few modifications.
What kind of modifications?
To find Taconian technology requires Taconian technology. If this Scion Galavan modified his ships, then I must do likewise to yours. The galaxy is nearly infinite in size and complexity. This may take a moment.
How long
I
will
found
it take?
something. There you are.
What is it? Galvin?
Someone is using Taconian technology. I can't get the precise bearings, but it's located in the Palisades cluster.
I'll let the captain know. Rydek to Solano. I think Portal may have located Galvin.
I'll be right there.
I'm getting all kinds of interference. Almost impossible to lock on the energy signature.
Where's he hiding?
In the Palisades cluster.
Interesting. Can you lock in on the location?
Not until you get me closer.
Lieutenant Handar, set a course for the Palisades cluster.
Aye, Captain.
Well, I suppose I owe you an apology. You were right after all. That's what I get for questioning the advice of my first officer. You always have my back.
No apology necessary. Your concerns were valid.
Nonetheless, I should learn to trust your instincts, which were absolutely right. Nice work. Let me know if you find anything more.
Will do. What's wrong?
I didn't want to say anything until I was certain. But the reason for the interference is simple. There's a Taconian device on this ship being used to block the signal. Whoever planted it was exceptionally clever. They knew how and where to hide it. But they have underestimated my abilities.
Engineering.
Take care of the Taconian device, and I can find Galvan for you. It's designed to interfere with all transmissions, or at least delay and confuse the effort to find Galvan's ship.
Hold on. My understanding is that Takan technology requires a Takan to operate. Is there another Takan on this ship?
The Scions could have someone on the ship, doing everything they can to stop us from finding Galvan.
Don't worry, I'll get this fixed. We're going to find that ship.
Okay, a few thoughts here at the scene break. Number one, Order 66 here, Portal 63, whatever its name is, he was able to access the Resolute systems by just, like, waving his hand down on his planet. So the idea that he's asking for full access to the ship's systems really feels like more of a courtesy, as he then immediately demonstrated when he just, like, held up his hands and grew a bunch of crystals. Like, he was just informing them, hey, I'm gonna do this. I'd prefer not to kill you all when you try to attack me for having done this, but these are the terms under which I'll be able to help you. So the Captain Solano's whole, like, he really is an anti-Picard with just his almost prideful refusal, like intentional, willful refusal to engage in anything resembling diplomacy. This happened back during the negotiations between the Elydians and the Hakan. I just want to make sure that I'm getting these names pretty close to one another. And now here again, hey, Captain, I want you to meet someone who has basically almost nearly infinite power. Oh, you don't look like much. I bet you could barely turn me to salt. Like, he's the worst. But then in the ready room, or I think it's his ready room, when he was like, you know, and I was like, we did it again with the concerns are valid. I'm trying to remember the exact thing that Rydek just said to him, but I was like, what I need to do is if I keep pushing back, push back, it's only going to make him shut down further. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, oh, that's right. It was like, oh, like we're not sure that we can trust him. Well, I am, because if he just needed a ride, he could just take the ship. He doesn't need to ask us, as far as I can tell. So I do trust him. I don't believe that the captain's concerns are particularly valid. And yet I told him that they were on two separate occasions, because I feel like what he needs to feel is heard and respected, which is, in fairness, a very human thing. The thing about this particular captain is that he's got a very fragile ego, and I'm trying to learn how to feed it without giving into it, if that makes sense. And then finally, they really missed an opportunity when Rydek called him in, and he came in and saw them at this computer console and just goes, what the fuck is this? We're going crystals in my conference room. Given his demeanor in the scene that immediately preceded, it would have been so weird. It's like, the hell? Anyway, here we go. Oh, I mean, we might as well read this. Outraged when he learned Jar had promised Portal 6-3 access to the ship's computers, but found himself persuaded by her convincing argument in favor of it. Okay, well, that feels good. We've got that. Got that. Still, Commander Westbrook has nothing to say except about the docking clams. This was one other thing. Yeah, I have a bad feeling that Tylus is the additional Takan, because I've been back and forth. I said this in a previous part. She was out of Rydek's sight for a period of time long enough to have been completely turned, and the Takan would be exemplary double agents, or not double agents, deep cover agents, sleeper agents, because they have the perfect cover, they're wearing somebody else's skin, and they have all of their memories. It would know exactly how to act like Tylus in a way that would be totally undetectable to Rydek, who's only known Tylus for like a day. And she's the one that makes sense. I mean, it's always possible that there's some other member of the security team, but yeah, that's my prediction. We've already read that. And she shares Jara's concerns that Captain Solano's judgment may be impaired. Galvin was annoyed by Jara's refusal to recognize the power of the Takan when the Veskar had the Resolute at its mercy. Yeah, I didn't see the value of doing that. Portal 6-3 felt slightly less offended after Jara defended him from Captain Solano's insult when they first met, but he couldn't understand why she tolerated his ignorance. Captain Riker, just be aware that I might at some point call him Commander. Captain Riker was struck by Jara's confidence when discussing seeking help from Portal 6-3, and he was glad Jara was honest and transparent about the shield algorithms being stolen. Lots of misspeaking there, but 100%, I talked about that at the time. Chovak and Ensign Calloway, who is still mostly just remembering that shuttle flight from like 4 weeks ago. Resume.
Engineers would have found this device already if it wasn't well hidden. Better to rely on my tricorder.
I feel like they would have found it if they knew to look for something.
There's a lot of noise in here. I should scan the device putting out the most radiation to filter it out.
Yeah, so our radiation detector says this way, although it does look like it might be the warp core, which is currently out of range. Hold on a second. Oh, this is surely going to be closer.
That's better. Most other radiation sources in here are well contained. There's definitely tetrametric radiation nearby. But even with the gain boosted, it's getting drowned out by other sources of radiation in here.
We've got some delta radiation over here, but it's no big thing. Oh. Okay, well, something's behind this wall. Also, I'm relatively sure that Solano called her Ryder in a previous scene, which I have to say I'd probably make the same mistake also at least a couple times. Bad with names.
Jeffrey's tubes thump harmonics from all over the ship. I'll filter that out. There's still something drowning out the tetrametric radiation. I need to find it so I could filter it out as well.
Seems we've got something over in this direction.
A little bit of harmless radiation leakage here, but enough to mask the tetrametric pulses. Easy enough to cancel out. There we go. I'm getting a clear tetrametric signal now.
It feels like it's over... Yeah. Apparently she will not run right now, but that makes sense. I would think that might bring alarm among the other crew members. Then again, having the first officer wandering around with a tricorder could also do that.
Found it.
Excuse me, do you belong here? Commander Rydek. I'm sorry, I didn't know it was you.
Paul. Calloway, right?
Yes, it means a lot that you remembered. What, are you doing back here? I don't mean to pry, but first officers don't usually go digging around engineering compartments.
Just a routine systems check. We've been having problems with our comms lately.
Ah, that's news to me. I haven't heard anything about it.
Probably because the comm system isn't working. Have you seen anyone else in here recently that might seem out of the ordinary? Maybe someone who doesn't work in engineering.
Not that I can think of, but I can ask around. I'm here almost all the time, but maybe someone else noticed something?
That would be great. Just be discreet about it. I don't want anyone to be alarmed.
Discretion is my specialty. Oh, I'll leave you alone already. Oh, come to think of it, that Hotari woman was down here earlier with Dr. Duval finishing the last of the bioscans.
Tylus?
That would be out of the ordinary, right?
Thank you. Maybe Tylus saw something.
Well, hold on. Let me just take a quick look around. Oh, wow. I guess this is the isolation ward and that force field is there. I feel like this is the room that they go into to do all the surgeries.
Tylus, can I speak to you for a moment?
Of course. Is something wrong?
There's something happening. I may need your help. This is important.
How can I help?
When you were in engineering with Dr. Duval, did you notice anything out of the ordinary? Or anyone?
Not particularly. Why?
I found this, hidden in a compartment down there.
That's Taconian technology. Does that mean there's a Scion on board? But Dr. Duval bioscanned everyone. Every deck, every crew member, I've seen the logs. She couldn't have been more thorough.
Someone evaded detection and planted that device.
Which would mean they've been with us this whole time. Watching, listening.
All the more reason why we have to find them.
It could be anyone.
That includes both of us.
You want me to get scanned? Better to know for sure, right? I'll admit, I was around the Scions as much as anybody.
I would feel more comfortable if you did.
I understand.
Clear.
Now it's your turn.
Sure.
Clear.
Don't sound so surprised.
You spend plenty of time with the Scions as well. You never know.
Let's get to it. The search starts in engineering. Whoever planted the device most likely did it within the last few hours. So I'll start by running a scan, tracking everyone who came through engineering over the last day, in reverse order.
This could take forever to sort through the number of people that were in engineering.
I'll filter out the duplicates.
Oh, that helps.
Filtering for outliers. People who don't work in engineering.
Now this is manageable.
Cross-referencing this list with everyone who's traveled to Hotari. Let's see who's left. No. This can't be right.
What?
Of the people that went to Hotari and visited engineering, it could only have been Captain Solano.
According to this, he was here while you went down to Delphi Ardu 4. Which would have been the perfect opportunity. And no one would question him. He's the captain.
He fits the profile for the kind of people the Takan want to bioform. People with authority that can lead to them gaining more control.
Like Galvin? The Queen?
The captain of a Federation starship. What happened when Dr. Duval bioscanned Captain Solano?
That's just it. She never did.
How is that possible?
Something more urgent would always come up. There was nothing she could do. But performing a bioscan is the only way to be absolutely sure.
That's not going to be easy. First thing I need to do is get this device to Portal.
Be careful. And good luck.
I'll need it.
Okay, sorry, just a quick pause. I am extremely mindful right now of Miranda in the previous part saying, your technology is so simple to us. When we walked in, Tylus was already in sickbay. Tylus might have modified the systems in some subtle way so that she could always pass the scan. And I just... Right now, it seems to me like the best thing to do would be to go talk to Dr. Duvall and ask her about the captain's health, and then to bring her along for the scan, because as she said, she and he has, like, she's been his doctor for many, many years now, and they consider each other good friends, even though she has some concerns about his current mental state. Doing the bioscan from her would be the most sensible thing. So I just wanted to throw out there. What I'm saying is that I don't feel like Tylus is in the clear, because during the time that I can remember him being on the planet, he was with Ambassador Spock the whole time. And we have every reason to believe that Spock was not compromised, because we witnessed one of the Takan trying to do it and getting shot by Rydek. So it seems to me more likely that Tylus is still it. Because we'll find out, but this is the way that I'm thinking about it.
I found the device.
Interference is gone. I have located Galvin's ship more precisely. He's in the Usonia system.
So then it worked.
This whole region was one of the most sacred for the ancient Takan. What many consider the birthplace of our civilization. See these comets and planetoids in the outer orbits? Based on their current trajectory, that's Galvin's destination. And legend tells us it's the location of what was once our largest arsenal. Not that we needed it in the late stages of the Empire, but it was there as a precaution nonetheless.
Can you stop him? Cripple their ship somehow?
I'm afraid they are too far away for my powers to reach them. We need to be much closer. And even then, they may have defenses against what I am able to do. If Galvin and the other Scions secure the arsenal, they will become extremely dangerous. My people had such power at the height of the Empire. The Takan were as gods, keeping absolute control over countless worlds. I must speak with them directly. However, the presence of this device is worrying. It's highly likely it was placed here by a Scion, hidden among your crew, and it is unlikely this interference device was the Scion Saboteur's only trap. If we reach Galvin and the Saboteur cripples your ship, we will be at their mercy. Even my powers will not be able to protect us. Do you know who it is? They may well do more damage if left alone. Time is not on your side.
Just leave that to me. I hope to resolve it soon.
The longer you wait, the more time we lose. Bioforming was so rare in the time of the Empire that I am not able to detect if it has taken place. Whoever you suspect, proof is something you will have to provide on your own.
I'll have it, once I've bioscanned the person I suspect. I just need to visit Dr. Duvall.
That's quite the claim. Told me you were worried about him. But I never imagined this was what was wrong.
I wouldn't be asking you if there was any other possibility.
And that would explain why Solano has been too busy for a bioscan lately.
As the ship's doctor, you have the authority to declare him unfit to serve.
If you're right, this is the worst-case scenario. Challenging your own captain is a tall order. Are you sure you're prepared for this? If you fail, that's it. The end of your career. Maybe your life.
I am. I have to be.
Good. You know what this is going to take. I'm in. But we can't pull this off with just the two of us. I technically have the authority to make Solano undergo a scan, but in reality, he can and will refuse to do it. We need at least another member of the senior staff to support your claim, or this could all blow up in our faces. You better think long and hard about who you can trust.
Down to one reactor. Thought we'd be stopped dead. At least stuck at impulse power.
The Takan enhancements must be able to brute force limited bursts of warp output.
Yeah, but they won't get to wherever they were headed at this rate. They're just limping along now.
So where does that put us?
Maybe I can answer that.
I mean, I feel like I would just sort of like wriggle between these, but shoot, there was one other thing. Oh, when Tylus slipped a little bit and said, "Oh, the Scion, is this person a Scion?" What I don't remember is, has that concept been introduced to Tylus? Has Tylus heard of the Scion of the Flame? Because I know that a lot of the Starfleet personnel have. She's been on the ship for a while, so it's possible that she could have just, like, picked it up from other people's conversations. But I don't remember if, like, Rydek has specifically invoked that phrase with her.
I got the ship's heading.
They've changed course. Drastically.
Looks like they're headed here. The Usonia system. They might stop there.
Can we use the Zeldi's comms to signal your fleet?
Comm systems are locked.
Grab hold!
Oh!
The inertial dampeners can barely keep up. If they keep forcing this ship to make these short warp jumps, they're going to tear it apart.
Zeldi is still made by Lydian hands, despite all this Takan corruption. We'll hold.
We just gotta stay safe until Starfleet can find us.
Your people, is there somewhere you go when you die?
Life after death? No. On my homeworld, some people think they can cheat death in a way by joining with the Trill symbiont. But that's not a life to me.
What about you? Is there another plane of existence for you?
I think there's just no way for us to know what happens after we die.
Really?
Maybe there's something more, maybe not. But I can't discount the possibility. You can't prove a negative.
Then maybe you can understand this. My people have a special journey. When Lydians die, we rejoin our comrades, family, and ancestors.
On the parade grounds of Cirella?
That is just one part of it, but yes. Death is not the end for us. So, even if some part of Itasca remains, by letting the Takan use her body, at best we are delaying the inevitable next step for her. At worst, we are leaving her as a prisoner in her own mind. You want to save the transformed. So do I.
Now that I've seen it happen, does it make me a hypocrite to say he has a point? What if we can't get them back? We can't leave them like that, right?
I think Itasca would want to be released.
I know it's awful to think about, but If they're still alive, we can still try to help them. We lose that option once they're dead.
I had a sister, a twin. It's very rare among the Trill.
You never told me that.
She was one of the youngest hosts to ever join with the symbiont. A sentient creature that lives in our body. It's considered a great honor. The symbiont can bring centuries of knowledge and wisdom to the host. But sometimes, the symbiont personality suppresses the host entirely. My sister was the closest person in the world to me. I knew she would be different after joining. But she drew more and more distant. The room we shared growing up was foreign to the both of us. And eventually she, or whoever she'd become, cut me out entirely. So I left for Starfleet and swore I'd never go back. I couldn't stand the thought of seeing her. Someone who looked like my sister. Sounded like her. But wasn't.
Dude, I don't know.
It's okay to walk away from someone when there isn't anything left to stay for. Nothing lasts forever.
Tell that to the Takan Empire.
You remind me of Itasca.
I do?
Bonds are not made by what runs through your veins, but the blood you spilled together. Itasca was my family in that way. I want you to know there is nothing I won't sacrifice to win this fight. But if we're lucky enough to survive, I'd be honored if you'd count me as one of your tribe. As Itasca was.
Even a couple of engineers like us?
You are many things.
I don't need to wait that long. We've bled together. No one else will know what we've been through. That makes us a tribe. Right here.
I'll take that.
Will they not cease this madness?
What is this place?
Is that the Veskar?
Another one of yours?
Not anymore. They've corrupted it, just like the Zeldi.
Now there are 2 ships. Did this just get better, or worse?
It certainly doesn't bode well for the crew of the Veskar. So many lives stolen.
We're really at the heart of this fight now. We just gotta figure out what we're gonna do about it.
This doesn't look like the Aphelion. What are they doing here?
You don't think they're just meeting their buddies?
Maybe, but then why are their buddies here?
Prepare for transfer.
The storm! It's back! What happened?
Hold on. Scanning. Tetrametric radiation is dropping. The Zeldi's dropped to minimal power levels.
It's running off just the one warp core now.
That means...
They've sent the Cartabula to that other ship.
Okay, and that feels like a good place to cut this part. Yeah, we will see you again for, gosh, what is it now? Part 9 in just a few moments.